What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. I've still got the blues from yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. I'm still down about it. We come far, but it wasn't to be. Smash a like on the video, subscribe if you lot are new. Let's do the roll call, see where everyone's watching from. First things first, we've got to check in and log in and see who's about. Connect Real, I see you in the comments as well. Big up. I see you, Lucas, you're in the comments as well. Flex the Man says Raju. Flex, we need to lift the mood, buddy, says Dola. We do need to lift the mood, Dola. We do. But I'm not going to lie. I'm still on my way up to getting back to my nice spirit self and just bubbling and happy and positive because I'm still feeling it. We've got Singapore in the house from Raymond. Keegan from South Africa. Australia, mate. Vivian. So big up yourself. Jonathan Pearl says hello. We got Nambia in there. Toronto, Canada, 666. Free Foxes, not Lions. All right. Okay. Yeah. See what you've done. See what you've done. You think you're smart. You better be Italian or you got no place even saying that over here. We've got Wolverhampton. We've got Kenya. We've got Ethiopia in the house as well. So yeah, everyone's in. East London in the house as well, and Jamaica Good Life as well. But it is a Man United transfer update. You know what? I like to do these more so when there's been kind of like something substantial that's happened. Raphael Varane move on personal terms edging closer. Question mark. But it's been reported by Manchester Evening News. I'm going to pull up their quotes of what they've been saying. And that is Manchester United are not far off finalising personal terms for Raphael Varane and hope to conclude a deal within the next few weeks. They also go on to say that their sources have informed them of this. So they haven't exactly said which outlet it is. They've just said their sources. In my opinion, MEN sources, are they tier 1, tier 2, all of that stuff? They're not usually that high. But, you know, what I do know about MEN is that they very rarely report on stuff that isn't kind of happening in the background. I'm not saying they don't really come out and say the done deal thing or like a Romano, here we go kind of situation. But they kind of, if it's like when it's a crazy Harry Kane rumor for 200 million, they'll say, oh, the rumor's here again or whatever. But when it's their own source, they're usually pretty credible with that. And this is from ABC Deportes as well. And they say that Raphael Varane wants to join Man United, but United are only offering a maximum of 45 million euros, which is 5 million euros short of what Real Madrid are asking for. In my opinion, I think it's bartering. And also, you got to remember, because it also said that United are basically not wanting to get their fingers burnt again. Not wanting to get their fingers burnt again like in 2015 when Sergio Ramos said, I'll tell you what, I'll come. And then he just used us for a new contract. Do you know what I mean? It's probably like coupling up in Love Island or something. You know what I mean? I tell you what, it's happening on Sunday or Saturday, coupling up. You're going to pick me, yeah? You promise, yeah? 100%. They go to, what is it? The Casa thing, or more thing. Yeah, I don't watch it, so I don't know. But they go to the other house and they come back and they're paired up with someone else. That's the vibes. That's going on. So we are still a little bit reluctant to kind of go into that. Man United don't want to get burnt on that. But we definitely know there's interactions. We definitely know that there's negotiations. And the reports are saying, and these are just the reports / rumours, that we are close to finalising personal terms. And then once we've done that, we will go and thrash out the deal with Real Madrid. Of course, you lot know, I almost feel like, yeah, on a personal, because we kind of do that as fans. We don't like to admit it. Some people do it proudly. Some people do it in private and don't want to admit it. I'm maybe more so like that, but I'm coming to terms with actually just saying it as it is. We have our players that are like, they're not your players, but they're the ones that you secretly wanted or the ones you really want to prove everyone wrong, or do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, I'm not saying like no one else wants Varane and it's exclusive to me. Of course not, because that would just be stupid. But I know we signed Jadon Sancho and I was happy about that, but I've always maintained from the jump, as soon as there was a sniff of getting Raphael Varane, I was like, make that the priority, get it done. And I almost feel like if we get Raphael Varane, I just feel like he would just be my player, if you get what I'm saying, in a weird way. Just someone that I really, I'm going to be a big advocate for, and I really think he's going to smash it, because I honestly do believe that. I just think he's exactly what we need. I'm going to talk about as well a little bit later in the show our returning Man United players from obviously the fallout from yesterday. And you see what's really interesting. You know the show I done yesterday, guys, in the build up to that game, right? I was basically saying there's one of two things that can happen if you lose. You know, sometimes you could be the villain or 0-0, whatever. And how does that affect the mindset of the players returning? And And I honestly did think we was going to win. And Luke Shaw scoring after, 5 minutes or whatever it was, you just see what it meant. And you started to kind of get a thought of actually imagine them returning like this. And it didn't go that way. But I want to talk about that a little bit later when those guys return as well. But like we said, we've got to keep it Varane. But with Harry Maguire, who has been going strength to strength, and that's why I'm more talking about yesterday, he just looks superb right now. Can you imagine him next to a Raphael Varane? And I know we've kind of discussed it in little bits and pieces, but as this deal is hotting up, / moving closer, / nearing the next stages, not the final stages, but the next stages, as we approach maybe bid made. You know, hopefully the next time I speak about Varane, it'll be bid made. That's what I want to do. I don't want to do a daily running commentary of like the same thing happening. I want to see some movement on this. And it feels like we're getting that slightly. This is the first time we've really heard, you know, Manchester United are really looking to kind of finish off on personal terms. And also I did read that Man United are very relaxed about the situation in terms of, not in terms of the getting stung by like the Ramos thing, but in terms of they always knew he was going to have a week or a couple of weeks off, obviously, whenever he departed from the Euros, whether France went deep into the tournaments, which they didn't, or whether they went out early. This little cool-off time was always going to happen. And another outlet said, actually was MEN, within their report, was basically saying that Ramos would prefer to return from his holidays straight to Manchester as opposed to having to go back to Madrid, etc., etc. Now, listen, things as detailed as that, I don't really enter into that, innit? I'm not going to sit here and, well, it's not me saying it, it's what's out there, so I don't mind discussing that. But I'm not going to sit here and get too gassed off of, he said he wants to come back to Manchester instead of going straight to pre-season with Real Madrid. He's definitely coming. At the end of the day, we're still a little bit short on evaluation. We have to remember that. Real Madrid are going to want the best price possible. After all the Super League bullshit, I dare say Perez is not really feeling us, you know what I'm saying? We were all in it together, but you got certain teams that were flinging more blame at the other and it got a little bit nasty. Are our relationships good with Real Madrid? They've wanted Pogba for a while. We've not really entertained that. The Ronaldo situation, Van Nistelrooy situation, Beckham situation, they've always been quite good. Then the David De Gea situation where we just acted like we just didn't pay the electric bill. Sorry, we were going to sell him to you, but we had a power cut. Sorry, we missed the deadline. That probably was a bit fractious. And then the Super League stuff with just Perez in general. So, I don't know. I think we probably do have a decent relationship with Real Madrid. I think I'll probably say that. But the David De Gea thing didn't really help. But I just feel like it doesn't matter what, they still want to get the right amount of money for their player, even though he's in the last thing of his contract, the last year of his contract. Zayn Miassi is in the cut, as per usual. Mr. Arsenal fan Zayn Miassi. And Zayn says, Flex, we are getting Tavares. Yeah, didn't you already get him? Something like that. Bring on Varane and the fridge. Listen, you can't, there should be no disrespect on Harry Maguire's name, even from an Arsenal fan, yeah? He turned into every single appliance. He ain't just a fridge. He was the dishwasher, he was the cooker, he was the washing machine, he was the tumble dryer, he was everything. That's what Harry Maguire was. Bring on Varane in the fridge. Saka and Martinelli will run rings around them. Come on, Zayn, are we really doing that? Are we really doing that? If Pogba goes, lots of peas, says Rashad. We haven't even got that far yet. I was more thinking, like I spoke about yesterday, if we could have come back as European champions, England, I mean. You know, you got Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Sancho, Rashford, who would have experienced it. Imagine they would have come on and actually scored those pens. You know, they would have felt 10 foot tall. Then there's 4 European champions in there, plus 2 world champions in there, if you get Varane and keep Pogba. You know, it really is starting to build something. You know, it really is. But it wasn't to be, and we still might lose Pogba. So sorry for the doom and gloom. Madman like Flex jumping on the tables on the Don Robbie channel. It definitely felt different, says Mikel. I'm a football fan, innit? I come and I speak about football to you guys, and I love my team, Man United. And I really love what the England team stand for. And I guess a lot of you guys who are English as well, maybe if you're not English, you wanted England to win. But I just proper wanted us to win, man. And it was just a mad set of emotions. I was so happy for Luke Shaw. So happy for Luke Shaw on a personal. To score, I mean, I don't know what the odds would have been. I think the odds were like 33-1 on Luke Shaw scoring the first goal, I think I read. And, you know, it was a great finish. And again, Southgate, and I know I'm going a little bit off topic here, and I will bring it back to Varane, I promise, but Southgate was, he raised eyebrows when we saw that he was going to be starting with Trippier and dropping Saka, but straight away you have to say it worked. Trippier cross, Luke Shaw goal, back five was working, and then, you know, I'm not going to get into all the tactical stuff right now, but it is what it is. We just didn't have enough in the tank, man. But I'm so happy for Luke Shaw on a massive personal. So that's why I was jumping around. It was a chair. I wasn't jumping on the table. I was jumping on a settee. Because I was just gassed. I was gassed. I'm a football fan. And Palarimus says, was diagnosed with COVID on Saturday. Your content will keep me sane during my time off work. Big up, Flex. Speedy recovery. I hope that, you know what I mean, you're young and fighting fit, and it hasn't kind of knocked you for six as well. So big up to your recovery, and thanks for checking out the content, man. I'm big up to yourself, man. That's what it's about. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Just keeping people entertained and keeping good vibes up. Love it, mate, says Mikel. And Palarimus, stay strong, says Ronak. Yeah, look, the people in the community are shouting you out, say stay strong, and get better as well. Tony Tone says, my dad has a better chance of coming home than England. That's sad. Yeah, it's sad. You know what I mean? If people who don't have one parent around or something are basically saying that parent's got more chance of coming home than England. You know, I mean, I was thinking, do I even title the video "It's Gone"? It just did it even come back and then go again? Well, it did kind of come back because it was in our stadium.
It was home.
The trophy was home. It was in the stadium. Now it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. It actually did come home. It came home. And then swiftly, they went, yo, we're booking a flight.
It's gone to Rome.
It's gone back to Rome, man. Seriously. David Naheen says, what's up, Flex? In all honesty, if Ollie has no intentions of using Donny, just do a little swap for the French beast, then keep Paul Pogba and get Camavinga. You know what, David, yeah? That's not... the key of what you just said there is if he has no intentions of using Donny. If he does have no intentions of using Donny, what did we get Donny for? 35 M's? 40 M's? And just before he come to us, before the pandemic struck, he was almost nailed on to go to Real Madrid. Real Madrid wanted the player. He was going to go there. Would they still want him now with the evolution of their squad or lack of? I don't know. I can't speak for Real Madrid. I don't know enough about their intentions. I'm not an expert. But my guess would be they was only interested in him a year ago. He's come to Man United, not kicked the ball. He's going to be roughly the same price. If not, we'll have to knock off 5 million because we ain't bloody used him. You know, if they're asking for, we only want to bid 45 million for Varane. Yeah, would I let Donny go 35 million and then give them 10 million or 15 million to make the 50? Yeah, I would do that. You're right. I agree with you there. And can I just say, there's 800 people watching. Can we get to 1,000 watching? That would be sick as well. I can't see how many likes at the moment, but make sure you guys hit that like button. Let me just check how many likes there are actually. We've got 240, and there's over 800 people watching. Yeah, you know what to do. Yeah, smash the like button. You know what to do. So that's the latest on the Varane situation. If you're just joining us, personal terms incoming, personal terms not far away from being agreed. And then it'll be a matter of working on the fee. That's how the transfers work. I think we forget about that. We always think, just go and get the player, just go and do this. Well, first of all, you have to find out if the player definitely wants to come to you. Then you have to ascertain, all right, what are your demands? What is it you're going to be asking us for? And then once we've done that, which is kind of weird because then you might waste all that time and then the club say, no, we ain't selling. But it's still better to do it that way around and say, I know, yeah, let's go and, organise a fee with the club, whatever. Real Madrid, we want to buy Varane, here's 50 million, they sign it, and then Varane goes, I ain't going anywhere, man, I don't want to come to you. Do you know what I mean? So that's how it works, and then we've got to see where we go from there. I hope it says within the next couple of weeks that Manchester United would be looking to close out the deal. I'm still very reserved about that. I've said many, many times before, when you lot keeps, we laugh and we joke saying, is it different, it feels different, etc. It can feel different for as long as it can feel different for, but I want to see it be different. I don't want to feel it be different from links and personal terms agreed, but no fee and waiting on this, waiting on that. All we can do is talk about what's happening in the process of which it's happening in. But the next time I talk about Varane, I really want to be saying fee agreed, because I just feel like it can drag out. However, there were little rumours that Chelsea were interested at one stage. And obviously the PSG link, but that's kind of died now because they've got Ramos. It looks like, touch wood, it looks like we got a clear run at the player as well. And only old Man United, and I say old Man United because we did get Jadon Sancho over the line in a one-horse race, but only Man United would be the kind of team to lose in a one-horse race when it's just us running. You know what I mean? There's 10 lanes, there's only us in the lane, and the gun's gone off in the 100-metre sprint, and we still lose against ourselves. That's typical Man United sometimes. But the way that we've moved so far with getting Jadon Sancho and the way it seems like we're moving with Varane, looks like potentially we may be onto something, which is great. Big up Soccer Warriors for them draw against Mexico, and TNT blessings. Did we? I didn't. Do you know? I need to check the Gold Cup. I'm assuming it's the Gold Cup that you mean there. Must be Jamaica against Mexico. I need to start following that. I know Maps is out there as well, so best of luck to Maps. Out there doing big things, and the rest of the Jamaican squad. And Caleb says, from Brisbane, Australia, keep grinding, Flex, you're doing big things. Appreciate that, thank you very much. We need to cash in on Paul Pogba. He hasn't done enough to deserve a bigger contract. You know what, I wasn't really going to talk a lot about Pogba, but you know what, Caleb's had his say, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk, it's you guys' show, you guys put in the comments what you want to talk about, as well as what I want to talk about. The Pogba situation, there's a lot of people saying what you're saying, Caleb. There really is. There's a lot of people saying, has he really hit the heights? Like, just let him go. Just let him go. Like, does what he's done for us up to this point warrant having a 370 grand a week, 400 grand a week contract extension on a 4-year deal, 3-year deal, whatever it's going to be? You could argue, there's enough argument to say he hasn't. Me personally, I see that argument, but I just feel like if it does feel different, we can get the players in and around Pogba to then build, because this squad's not finished yet, We just need that proper, out-and-out central defensive midfielder to play alongside Paul Pogba in our central midfield. That's all I want to see. But I do agree, like I've said many times though, if Paul Pogba don't want to sign the contract because it's not good for him, because he doesn't want to be there anymore, because it's his last big move and he needs to secure the bag, he goes with my blessing. He honestly does. I won't have any hatred towards him. I won't have any malice towards him. He'll go with my blessing. There's no problem with that at all. I don't mind that at all. Mad P for Pogba, Donny van der Beek and Deadwood, 100%. And Joe Isaac says, Southgate made the same mistake Ollie made, settling for penalties. Why bring on Sancho and Rashford to face Donnarumma from 12 yards? It's naivety. And FPL Nelson, big up yourself, bro, says, Varane will help Maguire, who really impressed me during the Euros. 100% agree with that. It will also allow Ollie to maybe change formation if he wants, instead of 2 holding. That's an interesting situation as well. That's a very interesting situation, because if we do get Varane, we've always been worried about protecting Lindelof and Maguire because there's pace running in at them. It's a good point that FPL Nelson makes. If we are able to have 2 centre-backs that are completely competent, you probably only need 1 sitting in front of there, like a Kante or an Ndidi or whoever-esque player. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, whether that's Camavinga or whoever else, I don't know. Maybe it could be someone far right that we just haven't even heard of all season, that all summer. That wouldn't surprise me, but definitely Maguire would go up levels alongside Varane, and he has impressed. You have to big up Maguire and give him his flowers. I really agree. Kante is not a defensive midfielder, says 000. What is he then? Box to box. Is Kante box to box? I say he's a defensive midfielder to me. He's a defensive midfielder. Maybe you see it differently, but I don't know. He's not an attacking midfielder. Box to box, I would argue he can travel with the ball quick, but he's a defensive midfielder. His job is to run around, win back possession, dispossess the opposition, and go play. A defensive midfielder. Connect Real says, Man United have been given the green light on Varane. So, again, that's what we pretty much know. And we're going to wait. We're going to wait to see how this plays out. That, for me, is what I want to see. Oh, and here you go. That's coming out from Sky Sports, as you put that. So thanks for the super chat. I've just checked Twitter now as we're live. And this is from Sky. This is just coming in literally 7 seconds ago. Why have I been that pedantic? When you're on Twitter and you can see how long it is and it says 7S. I haven't. Instead of just saying this has just come out, I'm like, it's come out 7 seconds ago. Why? I don't need to say that. That's just so extra. Anyway, it's just come out 28 seconds ago now. Man United have been given permission to approach Raphael Varane and discuss personal terms. Varane would be open to a move if an agreement can be reached between the two clubs. PSG are also in talks with Varane's camp. That's interesting. Oh, and PSG are talking to Varane's representatives, says Darmesh as well. Big up Darmesh. He's probably just done a live on Sky. And have I read that one already? Man United are still talking to Raphael Varane's representatives over personal terms. Once they're agreed, they will talk to Real Madrid to discuss a fee. Varane is open to a move, but United are still cautious. Yeah, that 2015 doesn't happen with Ramos. So basically, as you were, but that is a bit interesting to keep hearing this PSG link. Just before I was ready to move on from Varane, before this bit of breaking news came out, what have I been saying? My thing has been that, well, they just got Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos, Kimpembe, who I don't rate, and Marquinhos. But if they get Varane, that'll be 3 top draw centre halves. Do they need that? They don't need that. I'll be very, very surprised if PSG end up getting Varane. You can't rule it out because, you know, this is football. It really is. And maybe they might move Kimpembe on. I don't know about PSG and what they're looking to do. But I would be surprised, that's for sure. Bill Ingram comes through with a super chat, says, being a fan of United and England, I have witnessed soul-crushing penalty losses in a space of a month. I didn't even think of it like that, you know. Yeah, literally out in Gdansk, sitting in that stadium, watching the painstaking penalties. That's 2 in the space of a couple of months. It's not good. Which have taken a huge toll on my mental health. I can't begin to imagine what Rashi is feeling. 100%. Look, we got... Compared to the players, we've got the easy job in terms of sitting at home watching TV, scrutinising players and having our opinion on how well or how badly they play. He should have put that top corner. He should have scored that. He should have put a tackle in there. He should have blocked this. We got the easy bit as fans. We've got the emotional attachment to the club forever, which will never go away. So you could argue that that's not the easy bit, but we want to be in love with our clubs. We want to support them for our whole entire lives, no matter which players come and go, no matter which managers come and go. We got the easy bit. Like you said there about your mental health, just in the emotional roller coaster of the penalties. Imagine how Rashford must be feeling. Imagine how Saka must be feeling. Imagine how Jadon Sancho must be feeling. I've seen people shit themselves on penalties down the Power League, 5-a-side, tournaments. Do you know what I mean? Sunday League, Saturday League. Me personally, I'm not a big penalty taker. I've took a couple. When we was doing United Stand FC, I took a couple for them when we did that. I remember Bobby Kasanga trying to put me off, actually, which was quite funny, against Hackney Wick, and I scored. But when I was playing like a couple of leagues below semi-pro at a half decent level, I wasn't put me down. I wasn't one of those big game players. I didn't always trust myself. So to sit here and criticise that you did this run up and you did that, it's frustrating for us as fans, but you're right, these are just human beings and anyone can miss a penalty. I actually have to commend Jose Mourinho for once about what he was saying. He said he had a penalty shootout when he was at Real Madrid, and I think he said Ozil and Ronaldo, was it Kaká? I can't remember who it was. Someone else, one big boy player. All 3 big boy players missed. It's a lottery, innit? It's a shootout. Footballing gods, as he would say, it depends, innit? Ivan says, keep up the great work, bro. Really wanted England to win, but what happened afterward with the racial abuse was sad. You see Donny getting more game time, question mark. Ivan, do you know what? Just quickly on that, the worst thing is that as soon as it was 3 black players that missed, the worst thing for me is that I'm sitting there, and it doesn't matter whether you're black or white, just whether you understand, all you have to do is understand what's going on in society, and you'll arrive at this destination, which is that understanding that 3 black players have missed. You just knew what was going to happen on social media. The fact that we even are thinking that, whether you're black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter, that you know that was going to happen to 3 black players because they missed, says everything about where we're at. And then seeing our fans fight each other and breaking into the stadium before the game, and you know, it's almost like it was all good until something shit happened. Do you know what I mean? It's all good until we miss the pens, and then, you know, people can't control their drink, they're under the influence of drugs or whatever, and it just taints what really went on, and it really taints what that England team stands for. Like I said in the video in the lead up to the game yesterday, the reason why I can really F with that England team and Southgate is, one, the team is such a big reflection of society. It's got good experience in there versus youth. It's so multicultural, it's so diverse, and the manager stands up and stands with those players in making the statements they want to make. The white players, the black players, it doesn't matter. The words in that they wanted to use and the message they wanted to send, they all stood together and almost and backed it up with performances, because I honestly do believe if the performances didn't come, the thing about booing knees and doing that, they're doing it for this, all of that talk would have still been there. But it was almost like everyone was able to forget about, people who were ignorant enough to even think that at the start, started to forget about it because we're winning games or we're scoring goals. And as soon as, and this is the minority I'm talking about, as soon as it went to shit, what happens? You get the same old kind of thing trickling in. One guy I saw even put it off his normal Twitter account with his workplace there, and then he's been sacked and everything, which obviously should happen. But this is where we're actually at in society, where someone says, "I don't care if I lose my job. I'm just going to say it because it's what I think." The black boy or the N word went like, that's where we're at, and that does sicken me. I think the last bit, sorry to get a bit irate on that, but it is what it is. That's just how I feel about it. The last bit of the super chat before the person who said, I think it was Ivan, so apologies for going on a bit there, Ivan. He said, do you think we'll see much of Donny? No, I don't. I don't, bro, unfortunately. And Girarda says, City want Kane/Grealish. Chelsea won the Champions League with Tuchel in half a season. We are still rumoured to sign for positions we should have signed last year. I can't get my hopes up even if we sign Varane. Well, let me know in the comments, if we do sign Varane, and we've got Sancho, how do you still say we can't really challenge/win the league until we plug the midfield, because McTominay and Fred still won't be good enough even if you've got two solid centre-halves? Because I would probably agree with that. I still think you can have the solid centre-backs and it will sort out that situation and make us better. And adding in Sancho will obviously make us better. But there's going to be times when on the ball we still need to be better in transition, passing between the lines, positionally better in midfield. And McTominay and Fred, I feel, will do that in some games and then won't do it in others. And that inconsistency, I think, will be to our detriment for really trying to trace down the big honours. And Eagles fan 90 says, big up Flex, you're always my favourite part of the United Stand. Big up yourself. Glad you got your own channel. I appreciate that. Cautiously optimistic for Varane and Camavinga. And I think that's a fair comment, being cautiously optimistic, because we can't just, like I said many times, you can't just sign Jadon Sancho and then just act like everything's okay and that we've turned the corner and all of a sudden we're super efficient at transfers. It's one over the line. We have to see how we finish off. However, what I will say is, though, I did have a conversation, good phone call with somebody at the club last week, and they were saying, like, people are still forgetting that COVID has hit the club. And he was saying that, we've lost like over £150 million. Now, whereas we know the stuff about the Glazers and we know what's gone on there, the other side of the coin is that the market in general, not just Man United, we have to still remember that. That's not me sympathising with the Glazers or saying that Joel Glazer, that's not me saying that. It's me simply saying that COVID has still happened. Do you know what I mean? For every club. And if you look at the money being brandished about right now, no one's even made any signings as of yet. Arsenal don't count because they signed someone for 8 million. I don't even know who he is. Chelsea are looking like they might prepare a big bid for Haaland, I was reading, but nothing's happened yet. Same with Man City. You got Pep trying to plead poverty, saying we can't afford Harry Kane and da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Liverpool, okay, they got Konate sorted from the back end of last season. But, other than that, there isn't really much going on as of yet. And I'm not saying that's why we shouldn't do anything, but I'm just saying we do have to, just be aware of that. That's what I would say. But we can raise money of our own. There's players that are there on big contracts who aren't going to have a future, who clearly need to move on. And we need to try and do that to raise some more funds as well. Kaylin, thanks for another super chat, says, what do you honestly think about Bruno? He's been immense. I worry about him losing possession. He needs to tighten up if we're going to dominate games. That's a fair comment. I think he was a victim of the burnout situation. I think he just played a few too many games and was trying too hard in the Euros. He just didn't have a good Euros, and the way they played It just wasn't suiting him. He had 2 bad games, and then rightly so, he was benched for the rest. And didn't play particularly well. His playing style, I've always said, I've got no problems with Bruno because of the fact that he's having a say over the games. And you can't talk to someone who has that much say over how good we're doing. He's just a massive part of it. So essentially, as long as you keep doing that, cool. But his playing style, like I said, is one that if his numbers drop off or his say over the games drop off, he will have to change his game, or in those moments have to try and change it. I know people will say you can't change players like that. You need them to be free, etc. But when it's not going for you, sometimes you have to realize it's not going for you, and you have to go, okay, let me keep the ball. Let me help initiate a press. Let me help keep this team pending so we can dominate possession for the next 15, 20 minutes and get us higher up the pitch and look after the ball and take the sting out of the game, etc., etc. You can't just go for the killer ball every time. So I've got concerns about that. But in general, I haven't, because he's just been so good for us. And I've got every faith that he's going to continue to do that. If he doesn't, then don't get me wrong. We have to have a different conversation about the best way to accommodate Bruno if he's playing like that and not having an effect. But the way he's playing at the moment, I say at the moment, last season and half of the season before, is out of this world. Even when it's frustrating, even if it's been 55 minutes of straight Hollywood and straight trying to get the killer pass, he's still always come up with the goods, and that's good enough for me. Seth Wiley says, you think United will pay Pogba what he deserves? I think they will offer him a big contract, yeah. I'm just not so sure that Pogba will accept it. Do you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I have no idea exactly of the numbers and figures that they're going to offer him, but I do think they will want him to stay. I do think they'll want him to stay, but I just got a feeling that it just won't be enough. I think Paul will probably go, you know what, I'm 28, 27, whatever Pogba is now. I'm in my peak powers. I'm just going to call it a day here, and I want to go and win stuff. Yeah, it might be in PSG where I'm guaranteed to win it, but I'd rather do that, plus go deep into the Champions League every year, than be nowhere near the Premier League, in his opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? I think we can keep him and try and build again and get closer. But yeah, in my opinion, I'm not too sure about that. And just lastly, before we finish off, I just wanted to talk about those players coming back, man. Rashford, Luke Shaw, Maguire, and obviously Jadon hasn't been officially unveiled yet, but I want to talk about him as well. They're gonna need a rest, man. They're going to need a rest. And one thing that is good about Ollie is his man management. His man management is his best asset. And, I very much doubt if he hasn't been on the phone to them or texting them or within constant dialogue with them. And in the coming days afterwards, yeah, he'll probably leave them to their own devices to get some rest. But he will be very accommodating of them players. I proper trust Ollie with that. I do. I trust Ollie. I trust Ollie with that, because I just think that's where he comes into his own. Bringing Luke Shaw back, saying how fantastic you were. We go again. Take the time out that you need. Harry Maguire, he's going to commend him on upping his levels and getting better at what he does. He's going to do that. And Rashford, I think, come on, man, you know what type of guy Ollie is. And Rashford's taking big pens for us. I think that I was there at the Parc des Princes when Rashford hit that penalty and ran over to us, and that was like an unbelievable feeling. And he talk about pressure, massive pressure on his shoulders, and he proved he can do it. But you're not Superman. Ronaldo's missed big penalties. Ronaldo missed in the flipping final for us in 08. Even though he scored with the header, he still missed the pen when it really mattered. Like, it happens. It happens from 12 yards. It really does. So, Mbappe, the same thing happened to him, and France went out because of it. It happens. So I just trust in Ollie. Same with Sancho. Although he's going to be new to the group, they'll be fine. I know I did worry, and I was kind of putting that point to you guys about, what would it look like if they come back, losers, especially in penalties, especially with two Man United players being part of the shootout and missing. And obviously Harry Maguire scored his, but I just feel like the dressing room that we've got is so together, and the characters that are in that dressing room. Scott McTominay as well tweeted today, or put something out on social media saying, what he's reading about Rashford is absolutely disgusting, and they'll all be together and they will all put an arm around each other. You can say what you want about Ollie and his tactics, and you might not think he's the man for X, Y, Z, and time will tell, especially this season. But one thing I do know that I will put my bottom dollar on it is that Ollie will put an arm around those players and make sure that they're all right. AMG2 says, who's been our best manager since Fergie? I think the squad now is the best it's been since Fergie left, because I think the balance is getting there, and we can all pretty much look at our team and think we're 3 players away. I think we can all roughly agree on that. Centre half, CDM, right winger, arguably a striker, but we've plugged it with Cavani for now. You look at left back, solid. You look at Maguire, solid. You look at Wan-Bissaka, solid. We're happy. It's the best that's been. That's been the best it's been since Fergie, for sure, in my opinion. De Gea's still there. Henderson coming in. Whichever one you think should be there, we're in a strong department with the goalkeeping situations. You can't really count that. Midfield, I think, is where we struggle, because you'd probably argue that when we let Herrera left and didn't leave and didn't replace him, we've been trying to plug that gap ever since, which still wasn't even perfect. An aging Carrick wasn't quite good enough, but still would have been better. But McTominay's coming into his own, but still not quite there yet. Fred. So I would argue that the midfield's probably just been as okay as it kind of was, whether it was Fellaini and Pogba or Pogba and Matic or whatever. It's never been quite fixed. So I agree with that, just since Fergie's left in general. You still got Rashford. The right side looks really good now, which is even better than it's ever looked. When we used to have like Mata on the right, or Lingard or Memphis or whatever, it looks like it's going to be really settled now. So I'd argue that that's better. And up front, do you know what I mean? I mean, post Fergie, who did we have? We had Van Persie for a bit, then he left. Obviously Rooney still doing bits up there. Chicharito then ended up leaving. Rashford playing up front, Martial playing up front when we bought him under Van Gaal. So, and now we've got Cavani, who seems like the first out-and-out number. Zlatan, sorry, how could I forget about him? Lukaku, how can I forget? I forgot about loads of strikers, Jesus. So you could say arguably when Lukaku was there, that's probably him and Zlatan are the best strikers that we've had since Fergie left. And they kind of were a success on an individual thing because they scored goals. But the team wasn't just there. So I've kind of skirted around the question: who's the best manager since Fergie's left? I think Ollie probably it might shade it because he's got the squad. He's got the squad to a place where it's in a really good place and it's ready to kick on. The question mark is just because he hasn't won anything. So you'd have to say the best one was Mourinho, in terms of if you're just thinking about winning things. But I just think there's more to it than that, because Mourinho had that, and then it failed miserably after that, because Mourinho did what Mourinho does, which is crumble and lose relationships with the players. I don't think Ollie would do that. I just think where Ollie might fall short might just be because of his experience of getting over the line, which we will see. So I'm going to say Ollie. And Flex, we need Haaland to win the league. 21-22 says Gerard. Flex, will Sancho take the number 7 shirt? I believe he will. And the last one, David Naheen says, Flex, Bruno is like any other human, bro. The deli guy. Big up the deli guy. And AMG2 says, oh yeah, I've read that one already. And that is the super chats all done. And that is your latest Manchester United news. If you're just joining us, quick summary. Manchester United, Manchester Evening News Plus and Sky Sports have reported that Man United are close to agreeing and / finalising personal terms with Raphael Varane, but PSG are sniffing around the place. You lot smash a like on the video. Over 1K watching in the middle of the afternoon. Love that. Thanks for checking out the content. If you are getting better from COVID like someone was, or just in general just struggling, give yourself a pat on the back. Keep enjoying the content. Keep smiling. Keep bringing positive vibes, positive energy. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe in the bottom right hand corner if you're new. And I'll be back with another video tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow? Tuesday. Flex and KG show tomorrow. Live as well. Live. Oh, announcement. Don't know if Josh can do mad graphics, and no, he can't, but yeah. No. Yeah. Announcement, yeah. Just flying, this all flying across now. You can see it in the bottom right hand corner. When I get to like TV level production, now I'm just small, growing, 56K. Don't worry, when I'm on like 1 million subscribers, then it'll be. We'll have Magic Pass. Yeah, and all of that. But the Flex and KG show is going to be every Tuesday at 2 p.m. live. We did it live last week at 2 p.m. after a few technicals, but we did it remotely. Proper enjoyed it, and You guys enjoyed it. The interaction was good, and it seemed like a decent time. So you can expect that. Put it in your diaries. Flex and KG show every Tuesday at 2 p.m. So big up yourself. So I'll see you guys for that, and also a couple of other collabs coming up throughout the week as well. We didn't win the Euros. The cup came home, and now it's gone. Roll on the Premier League season. Roll on the friendlies. Roll on Man United. Peace. See you tomorrow.